What's up, everybody? Welcome to Break the Cycle podcast. I'm your host, Blake. We have new shirts out, Be Better, Positivity, and Confidence shirts out now on breakthecycleclothingusa.com. Get yours now. I want to talk about something it's one of those subjects that when you do talk about it, people tend to criticize you and criticize what you're talking about. So I want to go over mental health and the importance of mental health and keeping your mind as healthy as keeping your body. That's something that's often overlooked. Mental health is one of those things that you can't see. You can't judge, you can't reach out and touch it. Growing up, it was something that wasn't really talked about. We didn't talk about it as a family. We didn't talk about it in the schools. It was more of bottling it up inside and, we'll just deal with it. Especially being a young man growing up, there was no crying. And if you cried, your parents said, shut up before I give you something to cry about. I bet a lot of people can relate. I see now that it wasn't healthy to bottle everything up inside. It wasn't healthy to not express how I felt and about what I was going through, especially being a teenager. When you're transitioning from, childhood to adulthood, as a teenager, you got so many emotions and so many hormones going on that, somebody telling you to shut up, that doesn't necessarily work in every situation, in every environment. And then I think it definitely hurts individuals as they transition into young adulthood and then to adulthood, because now you are seeing how your decisions and how your mind and your reaction and the way you think affects you, not only in personal relationships, but in the workplace as well. We live in a generation where mental health is now talked about more and talked about on a regular, but yet suicides in young adults are still high. Excuse me. And the military is so high. With our veterans, with our first responders, it's very high. Are those people weak? Or do those people feel like they don't, with all the resources, do they think that they don't have anything else? I'm not bashing the care that is given, but sometimes the care that is given can hurt more than help. And what I mean by that is, if you do a certain job in the military, or you do a certain job in the civilian world where you are a first responder, you have to carry a weapon, you have to respond to other people's, mishaps and misfortunes. Mental health is still has a stigma around it, where people are afraid to get help, where people are afraid to speak up and afraid to self-identify and say, hey, I'm not going through the best of times right now. I need some help from someone. I need to speak to someone. I need to maybe not come to work today. And sometimes the mission or the job is more important than the person doing the job. And when you have someone's life in your hands, not just a cop or a firefighter, but a doctor or a nurse, if you have someone's life in your hands, you need to be on your P's and Q's. If I'm going in for a surgery, I want my doctor or my nurse or anybody that's taking care of me, if my life is in their hands, I need them to perform at 100%. The problem is, it sounds great. It's a great idea. It is a great theory that people have to say, you got X resource, you got Y resource. Talk to us if you need anything. But guess what happens? You immediately get labeled, especially in those professions. There's this investigation that happens to figure out why you need help, why you're not feeling well at the moment. Why do you have to place me on on administrative leave? Why do you have to ostracize me from my peers and everyone else that I work with? That stresses the person out even more. Not knowing if they're going to be employed any further within the company that they're employed with. Not knowing if they're going to be able to have a job the next day. Because let's be real. There's nothing that says you can't get fired for being 2 minutes late to work, or for saying something for telling a joke, or whatever. But to some people, they don't want to work with the crazy guy or the crazy girl or the mentally unstable person. I'm sure we've all heard the mentally unstable, right? But no one takes the time out to really talk. Everybody's quick to pass it off. Okay, yep, go see the doc. Go to mental health. And if you're truly honest with that mental health professional, your job might be on the line, and you're just going, and that is a temporary feeling. A lot of these mental health issues that people have are very temporary. It's, it could be the loss of a loved one, work is just super stressed out, money, divorce, kids, it could be anything. And a lot of it's just strictly temporary. It may or may not have a lasting effect on someone's duties and performance that they've already lived up to. But yeah, we're so quick to just pass it off as if that person is no longer useful. And that scares a lot of people. We all know what happens if you say, hey, I'm calling off today, I need a mental health day. Some people abuse it. Some people need it. Some people don't need to go, some firefighters don't need to go to work and go to a fatal car accident and see a young child in the car, and they have to pull that body out. Maybe that day, that person doesn't need to see that. Maybe that day, that doctor just cannot do that surgery. That doctor, he or she, might have lost their grandmother, might have lost their mother 2 days before, and they're still coping, and they can't focus on your surgery. Or the police officer who is going through a custody battle with a crazy ex-wife or an ex-husband. You want them working the streets, getting involved in life or death situations that they have to make in a split second. So why do we ostracize those people? I can tell you what, I don't think it's the person at all. I don't think the person should take responsibility for seeking help. That may rub some people the wrong way, but I honestly do not think at this point in our current society, I do not think it's the person's responsibility to reach out. I think it is our responsibility as a society to stop punishing those who seek help, giving them the support that they need, ensuring that your job will be here. Your family, your friends, your support system will be here no matter what. We are here for you. We have your back. Take some time off. That is what FMLA is for. That is what paid leave is for. That is what unpaid leave is for. We are creating an environment of people to bottle up their emotions and to not speak up. We need to do better. We need to be better and help these people. And then, once we as a society show our support for the people in need, then, and only then, will I say it's the responsible of the person to seek help. Because we talk a lot, but we don't ever do anything. We create these programs, but we never do anything. We never live up to the standard that we say we set. That's just my thoughts behind it. It's just my thoughts. Now you can say, oh, well, kids nowadays are soft. They can't be told no. this. I understand, I get it. Some people may think that this current generation isn't as resilient as the past generation. And there's an argument that can be made. When I was growing up, we didn't have social media. When I was growing up, we didn't have access to people's lives like we do now in order to compare ourselves. We didn't have that. It's just a different time. You know, this generation doesn't know any different, just like my generation doesn't know any different on the internet. As long as I can remember, I've always had internet. As long as I can remember, we had People magazine. The normality of what's going on now versus what happened 20, 30 years ago, my mom is probably looking at me like, what issues could you possibly have? You have way more than I had growing up. Just like I'm gonna look at my kids and be like, what issue could you possibly have? You have way more than I had growing up. But at the time, for that individual, that's the norm to them. To them, that's normal. The 35 and up crew, I'm aging myself right now. We need to stop saying and we need to start doing. Stop making somebody feel bad because they seek assistance, they seek help. Hey, we got you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about nothing. We got you. That's what we should say. And then we need to stop judging people as to why they feel the way they feel. And every problem doesn't have to have a comparison. If somebody's coming to talk to you, just listen. The best thing you can do is listen. It's not the time for you to tell them what problems you have. Straight up, just listen. That's not the time for you to tell them a story, try to compare your story. Hey, I got you, what you need, listen to me. Or talk to me. What can I do for you? I just need an ear. I just need somebody, I just need a body to vent to right now. Can I have the morning off? I have to go to an appointment. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, go do it. No big deal. We got you. I don't know. We just need to do better. That's really all I got.